Good morning and welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today is going to be a Honda day. The goal for today is to try to find a hood locally in town so I can put a hood finally on the Honda. As you guys know, if you guys watch the videos, the car does not have a hood, did not come with the car at all. It looks pretty sick without a hood, but I'm wanting more of a clean look, so I am now trying to find a hood so I can hopefully get that put on and 100% dialed in. I'm gonna call a couple like scrap yards. They normally have lots of Honda parts, hoping that's going to be my best luck. If not, I can create a post in my local Facebook pages to see if anyone has one laying around. But I'm really trying to get a hood today for this video to put on the car and see how it looks 100% put back together. But then also this morning, I've been trying to order all the last pieces for the STI. Like I mentioned in the last video, I'm wanting to order that IAG timing belt tensioner just because I don't want to have to worry about any timing issues ever again in the future. But for some reason, every time I try to order from IAG, it does the same thing where it says like card declined because something doesn't match up. Even though everything is perfect and I know there's money on this card. So kind of frustrating. This has happened like 6 times now ordering from them, so don't know what the issue is. I'll wait a little bit later on to the day so I can get everything ordered. But I'm trying to get everything for this STI ordered today, every small piece. So once the day comes when my heads are done and we start putting the car back together, I'm not waiting on anything to slow me down. But if you guys are new to the channel, here is what my EG looks like. Excuse the horrible mess in the garage right now, but we just recently wrapped the car in this KPMF gloss green black iridescent, which looks absolutely amazing on the car. It was wrapped Nardo gray before, but as you guys can see, there's no hood on the car, and I think a hood would completely tie this car together. So that is going to be today's goal. The reason I have yet to put a hood on the car is I was led to believe a hood would not fit because, as you guys can see, the motor is tilted forward. I have the Sport lean mounts. Apparently it's pretty common for people to do on front wheel drive Hondas. And I was told that since it tilts, it will not clear. But as I'm lining it up, it looks like it will barely clear. The only thing that looks like it might not clear is the top of the turbo. But today we're gonna hopefully pick up a hood and we can see if it will fit. If not, I did buy new motor mounts, so it'll put the motor back in its normal position. The reason I haven't put those on is because those motor mounts I bought are for all-wheel drive. I bought those purposefully because I do have the all-wheel drive 5-speed trans sitting in my shop. So I just have not yet pulled the motor and trans to be able to swap that out. I was originally going to wait until I got all my all-wheel drive stuff in, so I could just do it all at once, do the full all-wheel drive swap. But I think I'm going to wait off a little bit longer until I do the all-wheel drive swap. I bought a bracket for the trans, so it'll block off the transfer case, so I will be able to still run that 5-speed with no issues while retaining front wheel drive. But I'm gonna look up a couple local scrap yards, give them a call, and see if they have anything for us.
Welcome to Spalding Auto Parts. Please listen as our menu has recently changed.
If you are requesting parts for an import vehicle, please press 2. For all system for managing vehicles. Spalding Imports, this is Tammy.
Hey, how are you doing? I'm calling to see if you guys by any chance have a hood for a 1993 Honda Civic.
Alright, let's see here. Is it a coupe? Hatchback?
Hatchback.
I've got aftermarket 151.
In stock right now?
Yep.
Perfect.
Aftermarket.
Remmy, R-E-M-M-Y.
And what's your phone number, Remmy?
509-23.
You gonna come get this?
Yes, I can come right now.
I'm gonna put it on hold for you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Well, that was a lot easier than I thought. First place I called, they have a hood in stock. A couple months ago when I was with Josh and he picked one up for his car, I asked if they had one. They said they rarely ever have them. That's why I stopped reaching out. But apparently my luck is in my favor today. First place I called, they have one in stock. They just put it on hold for me. So we're gonna go ahead and drive out there and pick up the new hood. Well, I just realized as I was about to head out the door to go pick up this hood, I don't know how I thought to think of this, but I am missing the actual like assembly for the latch on the car. It has the cable for the latch, which is nice, so I don't have to reroute that. But I'm going to still go there and hopefully see if they have a, whatever you call it, the latch assembly to actually be able to close the hood. Fingers crossed that they have that. I feel like that's going to be a part that's going to be a little bit more tricky to get a hold of, but it is a scrapyard and Hondas are quite a common car, so hopefully they have something there. I was originally wanting to make a Honda video today driving the car, but if you guys saw the last video, we got quite a bit of snow the last couple of days, so I don't think driving the Honda is going to be the best decision, so today we'll take the truck. That is a lot safer bet. Looks like it's about a 30-minute drive, so I will pick you guys up once we get over to Spalding's. So they ended up actually having the hood latch as well. They had one vehicle that still had it left on it. So that's perfect. We got the hood loaded in the bed, and now we are going to head back and see if this fits. All right, we just made it back to my house. We picked up the hood latch bracket, the actual assembly, which is right there. And then we picked up the new hood for the car as well. Now what I'm trying to think of how to do this is, obviously the hood is going to need to be cut for the exhaust to go out. I've never cut into a hood before to make an exhaust fit, so I don't know exactly the proper way to do it, especially because I know when you open it the angle changes, so you can't just cut in one spot. I didn't explain that properly. I need to do some research, reach out to a friend who's done this before, see what they recommend me doing, and then we can get this hood on this car and then wrapped. I just realized I did not have the tools I thought I did to be able to cleanly cut this hood for the exhaust and the wastegate dump. So I'm gonna make a quick run to Home Depot, get the tools I need, and then we'll be on our way to getting this hood mounted. Well, I just got back from Home Depot, ended up picking up two different sizes, one for the wastegate, one for the downpipe. These hole saw, got this drill bit adapter piece for it, and then I actually ended up picking up a Milwaukee drill, so I'm able to actually use these. Since all my like handheld drills are not nice like Milwaukee ones, I thought it was time to spend the, it was expensive, I think it's like $200 just for the drill, no battery, but it is very nice and it will come in handy quite a bit. So I think what I'm going to do now is mount the hood on the car, and then what I'm going to do is put paint or like some type of like liquid on here. So when I close the hood, you'll be able to see where I need to cut out on it, at least a rough estimate. I do wish I did a size bigger than what the actual exhaust was, because these are pretty much exact. So I will need to go through with like a Dremel and make the hole a little bit bigger, which is fine. I wish I did step up the size though, but it is what it is. We'll at least get a very clean hole at first, and then it shouldn't be that much cutting with the Dremel. And here is the new hood taken outside of the box here. It is not an OEM one, unfortunately. They do not have one, but we'll put this on, see how it fits. Worst case, if it fits like ass, we can always buy try to find an OEM one, or maybe make that jump to the carbon one, which I have been really wanting to get. If I do go that route, I am considering, if I do go the route of a carbon hood, I am kind of considering going to do a full exhaust. I would really hate to cut into a carbon hood, especially because if I ever went back to a stock hood, I could never really sell that because the cutouts are very specific per car. Now that I got this hood on, there's one thing I forgot to pick up at the scrapyard, whatever you want to call it, and that is a hood prop to hold the hood up. So right now I'm currently using this cardboard. I'm gonna go ahead and get this latch mounted up. I just threaded a bolt in there so it wasn't just sitting on the floor. I'll go ahead and get this mounted up with the lever. You see the tips. When I close the hood, the edge of the teardrop is still right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my Dremel with just, it barely needs to be moved at all. I'm going to trim it a little bit and try to clean it up. Well, turns out I fucked up these cuts more than I thought I did. When I went to close the hood, you guys can see I made the holes too far left. So I'm now going to be using the angle grinder and cutting all of it out. Well, we got the hood to finally close after lots and lots of trimming. It does not look the best by any means, but the hood closes, and it doesn't really matter anyway because I will be putting that bezel on, which will cover all these gross cuts. Today kind of got away from me. It is pretty late now. I'm gonna enjoy some dinner and edit this video. Tomorrow's video will be cleaning up this hood because as you guys can see, this left side closes and fitment's pretty spot on, but you get over here, it needs some major adjustment. That new bracket I bought, the actual latch, needs adjusting so the hood will actually close all the way. And then we need to trim up all of this because all the metal is just flaking over from the cuts. I'm gonna try to find a bezel locally so I don't have to order one. Ranch Built, I'm hoping will have one. It is like a 2-hour journey though to go there and back if I were to find one there. And then we will also be wrapping the hood tomorrow and 100% completing this car. It already looks a million times better with this hood on here. Truthfully, I thought that the cutting the hood for the exhaust and the wastegate would be a million times easier than it actually is. People always say it's difficult. I always shrugged that off and thought that they were being overdramatic, but it is a lot harder than it looks. The main issue I ran into though, and I didn't account for this for some reason, is the exhaust and the wastegate dump are not straight. So when I went and used my hole saw, I didn't account for the angle. So when I went straight up and down, it cleared for about a third of the way down. And then as you guys can see, my cuts were just completely off because you guys can see the angle of the exhaust. So then after that, I just said, screw it, went through with the cutoff wheel, made it work, hood closes, and like I mentioned, it doesn't really matter anyway because the bezel will cover all of that and make it look pretty again. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.